Mammy, Mammy.
Al Jolson was called the world's greatest entertainer. There may never be another performer to claim this title.
Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. Though April shower may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. When there are gray skies, I don't mind the gray skies. I still have you, Sonny Boy.
Al Jolson's song thrilled a nation and gave a voice to Hollywood and the stars. Beneath this towering monument rests a man and a legend, Al Jolson. For nearly half a century, he made America sing and laugh and cry. But though he played on our emotions with unabashed sentimentality, he felt within himself an emptiness that no personal relationship could fill. Insecure, plagued by self-doubt, Jolson felt important and alive only when he heard the cheers of an adoring crowd and the love music of applause. But he was the greatest entertainer that the world has ever known.
Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. I'd give the world to be among the folks in GIX. I even know my mammy's waiting for me, praying for me down by the Swanee. The folks up north won't see me no more when I get to that Swanee.
Though he sang of Mammy and magnolias in a broad southern accent, Al Jolson never even saw the Swanee River. Born in Russia in 1886, his name is Asa Jolson, second son of a Jewish peasant family. The Jolsons immigrate to America when Asa is 8. They will settle in Washington, D.C., where his father has secured a position as rabbi in an impoverished Orthodox synagogue. Asa and his older brother Hirsch will soon rebel against their father's stern old country traditions. They begin calling themselves Al and Harry. And they further shame their father by avoiding religious services to sing for pennies on the street. At the age of 12, Al runs away from home, cutting all family ties and leaving wounds that will never heal. He follows his brother to New York. Here, the boys will find a new way of life, show business. At first, Al supports himself by singing for tips in Bowery saloons. Then a bit part in a play called Children of the Ghetto gives him his first taste of the stage. When Al is 15, he and his brother create their own vaudeville act called The Hebrew and the Cadet. They change their name to Jolson, and with singer Joe Palmer form a new act which tours the country for 2 years. When the act breaks up, Al sets out on his own as a singing blackface comedian. At first, he uses this traditional caricature to hide his nervousness, but it will soon become his trademark. Vaudeville is in its heyday, and for young Jolson, theaters across the country are classrooms, homes, and playgrounds. His friends and tutors are baggy pants comics, acrobats, chorus girls, and pitchmen. For years, he works and watches and learns. Jolson scores his first real success with Lou Dockstadt as minstrel. He starts as a featured performer, but his dynamic energy quickly makes him the star. After 10 years on the stage, Al Jolson knows all the tricks of the trade. He is ready for the big time. In 1911, at the age of 26, Jolson reaches Broadway as a supporting act in a musical revue. Overnight, the unknown singer becomes a sensation.
Why do they all take the night boat for Albany? That's what's puzzling me. They all claim it's just for the sight, but just the same, they travel at night. They play the searchlight on the shore when they float. They ought to play the searchlight right on the boat. So tell me, why do they all take the night boat for Albany and grab the next train? But God!
Jolson now tastes the heady wine of public adulation that will drive him for the rest of his life. Cheers, applause, his name in lights. He pushes to the top with drive, cockiness, and exuberant charm.
There's a rainbow around my shoulder and a sky of blue above. Oh, the sun shines bright, the world's all right, 'cause I'm in love. There's a rainbow around my
For
shoulder.
2 decades, on through the roaring 20s, Al Jolson will surpass even his wildest dreams. $15,000 a week, highest paid star in theater history. He becomes the king of Broadway.
Baby, baby, keep going away. Hit it! There's a rainbow around my shoulder and a sky of blue above. And I'm shouting so the world will know that I'm in love. Hot chickadee dog, hot kitty, hot pussycat. Did not tell you you'd love it. Did not tell you you'd love it. Ain't that a song? Did not tell you you'd love it.
The immigrant boy from the Russian ghetto sees whole new worlds open before him. Even presidential candidates seek him out. When he campaigns for Warren G. Harding, Jolson all but steals the show from the future president. He takes his shows on the road. And when he plays Los Angeles, he glories in being greeted by Valentino, William S. Hart, Douglas Fairbanks, the greatest stars of the silent screen. Jolson feels that even among these giants, he is king. Away from the reassurance of the crowd, Jolson is lonely and insecure, although he tries to hide it. He has very few friends, and they find him sometimes extravagantly kind, sometimes callously abusive. Married and divorced twice, he boosts his ego by being seen with pretty girls, and he revels in his reputation as a lady killer. There is but one overwhelming passion in Jolson's life, the audience. Others play to an audience, but Al Jolson makes love to it. Only the adulation of a crowd gives him the warmth, the approval, the sense of importance he so desperately needs. His friend Eddie Cantor will say, this great personality never learned how to live. The minute the curtain rang down, he died. In 1927, at the peak of his career, Al Jolson leaves Broadway to take a tremendous gamble. He's been asked to star in a motion picture that will bring sound to the silent screen. Jolson sees a golden opportunity. Now he can sing not just for a few hundred in a theater, but for millions all over the world. With a jazz singer, Al Jolson makes history.
Goodbye. Don't cry. The little train that takes me away from you. You don't know just how sad it makes me. Kiss me pretty and then, hey, you'll get over again. I'm male. I'll never fail. You don't get learning and you know I'm in jail. Da-da-da. Don't cry, Goody, don't cry. Ah! Goodbye, Goody, goodbye. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. I'm sitting on top of the world. I'm going along. Yes, going along.
The jazz singer opens a new era. The public demands more talkies, and Hollywood studios frantically convert to sound. The king of Broadway becomes the king of Hollywood. And now Al Jolson stars in a series of screen musicals. Unfortunately, they all follow the same predictable pattern. The maudlin plots are not helped by Jolson's acting, which one critic describes as flat, wooden, and downright embarrassing.
Well, anything you say. Only, I want to tell you one thing, baby. There'll never be anybody in here but you.
Jolson begins misjudging the taste of movie audiences. Ever since he first sang My Mammy on the stage, Jolson and Mother Love have meant big box office. But now his appeal wears thin as he repeats his sentimental gimmicks in picture after picture. To boost his waning popularity, Jolson switches from mothers to glamour girls like Dolores Del Rio. But it just doesn't work. In desperation, producers surround him with thousands of extras in giant production numbers. By only his seventh picture, Al Jolson's intensely personal appeal is lost, submerged in a mob-filled musical extravaganza. For the first time in 30 years, Al Jolson's spectacular career is heading for trouble. The 1930s is a fabulous era for Hollywood. But for Al Jolson, it will be a decade of frustration. His third wife is dancer Ruby Keeler. And even though she is 20 years younger than he, Ruby would prefer a quiet home life. But she is swept up in her husband's compulsive search for excitement. Jolson soon finds himself in an intolerable situation. His ego suffers as he declines in pictures, while his wife's career is booming.
I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, for I only have eyes for you, my dear. The moon may be high.
His fame helped get her started in movies. But Ruby Keeler's fresh young beauty and charm quickly make her a star in her own right.
I don't know if we're in a garden or on a crowded avenue. You are here, so am I. Maybe millions of people go by, but they all disappear from you. And I only have eyes for you.
In 1935, the Jolsons adopt a baby boy, and friends hope this will stabilize their shaky marriage. At first, Jolson delights in being a father, but this new role cannot sustain him. He grows depressed as he continues to slip as king of show business. This is the only role that makes his life worth living. Jolson's ego will take further punishment. He stars with his wife in the film Go Into Your Dance. But Hollywood rumors that he was put in the picture solely because of Ruby Keeler's tremendous box office appeal. The Jolsons look good as a team, but it is the only film they will ever make together.
About 8:45, my loving arms are gonna tenderly twine, sweet, sweet twine, around you, around 8:45. I know I won't be late, 'cause at 8:30 I'm gonna hurry there. I'll be waiting where the lazy ear, waiting for you on needles and pins, and there the world is gonna be mine. Beginning about a quarter to nine.
A year later, the Mammy singer makes a special mark for posterity. His knee prints in cement at Hollywood's Chinese Theater. For Jolson, it is a moment of glory. But it will have an ironically hollow ring. His wife will soon leave him. Hollywood producers will soon forget him. And never again will Al Jolson play a starring role in a motion picture. Except for several minor parts, he cannot find work in Hollywood. Although he poses for newsreel cameras and pretends to enjoy retirement, his idleness is painful and humiliating. As the decade ends, Al Jolson, a lonely millionaire, tells anyone who will listen how great he was in the good old days. Then, a sudden and dramatic turning point. The United States goes to war. Al Jolson becomes the first performer to entertain American troops overseas. A new generation of Americans thrills to the old songs and old jokes of an exciting entertainer most of them had never seen before. Even after attacks of malaria and pneumonia and surgery to remove one lung, Jolson cannot resist this newfound audience. And against doctors' orders, he goes back to entertaining troops. In 1945, when he's nearly 60 years old, Al Jolson elopes. His bride, 21-year-old Earl Galbraith, an X-ray technician he met while singing at an Army hospital. Despite his popularity with GIs, to Hollywood, Jolson is still a forgotten man. Producers consider him a relic, and they laugh when columnist Sidney Skolsky tries to sell Jolson's life story as a movie. One night, however, Jolson is a last-minute addition to the list of top entertainers at a charity banquet. Though he must follow Hollywood's brightest stars, Jolson gives them all a lesson in showmanship they will never forget. He proves that in spite of his age, he still has the same old magic. His sensational performance is the talk of Hollywood, and Columbia Pictures finally yields to Skolsky's dogged persuasion. Jolson is amazed and hurt that he will not play himself in the picture. Reluctantly, he agrees to let a young newcomer, Larry Parks, do the role. Parks will mouth the words to Jolson's pre-recorded songs.
You made me cry, Pa. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I want some love. That's true. You know I do. Indeed I do. Yes, I do. Gimme, 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 gimme what I cry for. You know you got the kind of kisses that I die for. You know you made me love you. Swanee, how I love you, my.
Movie audiences never realize that Jolson actually appears in the picture. Worried that Parks cannot properly imitate his special dance steps, Jolson convinces producers that only he can do the number. In this one scene, Jolson, not Parks, plays Jolson.
Oh, Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore.
The Jolson story is the greatest comeback in theatrical history. Jolson is discovered by a new generation and again cherished by the old. Now, every personal appearance is a mob scene. He sells millions of records. His new radio show is the most popular on the air, and Columbia Pictures will even make a sequel, Jolson Sings Again. Jolson struts like a conquering hero. The man nobody wanted is hailed once again as King of Children. Jolson's professional success is matched by personal fulfillment. Friends say his years with Earl and their 2 adopted children are the happiest of his life. But still, he tells a reporter, I'm a bigger success than I ever was. Now I want to sit down and play, and I don't know how. I'm a ham. I have to keep on singing. Korea, 1950. Once more, Al Jolson is the first to go overseas to entertain. He even pays his own way. Jolson does 42 shows in 16 days, singing and joking for his favorite audience, the American serviceman.
Farewell showers. May come your way. They bring the flower that bloom in May. And if it's raining, have no regrets because, look, it isn't raining rain, you know. It's raining violets. And will you see...
The 64-year-old trooper suffers a severe bronchial infection, and doctors warn him to stop. But Jolson refuses to recognize that he is no longer the dynamic young minstrel who electrified Broadway nearly 40 years before. He refuses to quit and completes his tour, a sick, exhausted old man. Three weeks later, Al Jolson is dead.
I'd walk a million miles for one of your smiles, oh, my mammy, oh, mammy.
Al Jolson was the greatest minstrel of them all. His style and personality left an indelible mark on show business. Today's greatest stars proudly claim there is a little bit of Jolson in all of them. Even after 30 or 40 years, audiences who saw him perform still remember the magic that was Al Jolson.
Mammy, I'm coming. I hope I didn't make you wait. Mammy, I'm coming. Oh, God, I hope I'm not late. Mammy, don't you know me? It's a little baby. I'd walk a million miles for one of your smiles. For my man.